What's good? Welcome into the show. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. So many content options out there, so we're always so thankful that you joined the show. Coming up on today's show, we're going to show love to our subscribers and hear from our subscribers during a mailbag. First, though, for all of our subscribers out there, I hope to see you for our Eagles-Chiefs watch party, a Super Bowl 57 rematch. And for those of you who haven't subbed to the channel, my name's Chase. We cook up Eagles content for you every single day, year-round. So if you want informative, entertaining, and insightful Eagles content, this is your go-to spot. Hit that sub button. Today's show is sponsored by RexMD. Make sure you use that link down below me, rexmd.com/chat, because we have a great deal that we want to tell you about on today's show. Fellas, do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? Do you wish you could have a more fulfilling sex life? Well, you're not alone. That's why we're excited to tell you about RexMD, the online source for men's wellness. RexMD offers an easy and discreet way to get the medication you need for ED without having to visit a doctor's office. With only a few clicks, you can have your medication delivered straight to your door and at a fraction of the cost of traditional pharmacies. RexMD's team of licensed physicians will work with you to find the right treatment plan, and their medication is made right here in the USA. Shout out to Flippin' the Bird 85 for protecting the USA so you can trust its quality. Plus, their customer support team is available 24/7 to answer any questions or concerns you may have. So if you're ready to take control of your sex life, say goodbye to ED, head on over to rexmd.com/chat. Start your consultation today and take advantage of their best deal they've ever offered. Get up to 95% off RexMD and a free gift card with our exclusive link. Yeah, you heard me right. All of this information available for you down in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. It's rexmd.com/chat. Now, let's open up the floor and answer your questions here on Eagles Now. Lion Fighter with the $5 donation. Appreciate you, my guy. I love my birds. I just hope the refs stay out of it. But like you said, we got to handle what we can. And I know that a lot of people are worried about the officiating going into this game. You have Patrick Mahomes, the golden boy of the NFL, Andy Reid, now that he has 2 Super Bowls. You have the whole Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift storyline, which frankly I don't care about, but that leads to ratings for the NFL. So it's almost as though Kansas City has become America's team. And the Eagles are always going to be America's villain because everybody hates Eagles fans for absolutely no reason. I'll always stand up for Eagles fans. So you always worry about the officials stepping in and making a bad, errant call like they did at the end of Super Bowl 57 and just ruining the football game. And look, I got to tell you, I've been watching the NFL since I was 4 years old. I love this game. I make money and I make a living because I cover the NFL. I have to admit, this game has become increasingly more difficult to watch with the officials playing more and more of a role in some of these games. And I was talking about this with my boss, Brett, a little bit earlier. You know how in the NBA at the end of games, sometimes they swallow the whistle? Now it seems as though they're throwing more flags at the end of the game. Let the special talent and the special coaching on the field decide these games, not the Zebras. LFX, I'm fired up now. Optic Python is next up. How many passing yards will Jalen Hurts have? Look, Optic Python, the Kansas City Chiefs defense is really good, and we could take a look at the Chiefs' defensive numbers because they are one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they're really good at generating a pass rush. Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, both really good players, and this is probably the best defense that Patrick Mahomes has ever had in his Chiefs career. This Chiefs defense, number 2 in points per game, surrendering under 16, number 4 in yards per game, number 5 in yards per play. They buckle down on third downs, 11th, red zone percentage, 17th, and you look at how that compares to the Eagles, a much better defensive unit as compared to what the Eagles are trotting out there statistically. Eric Lovely, how's our secondary matchup against the Chiefs receivers? Love the show. I love you, brother, and thank you so much for watching. The Eagles secondary has been one of the worst in the National Football League. And on Wednesday's show, we did do a deep dive into how bad this Eagles secondary has been. They have one of the worst passing defenses in the National Football League. And it is pretty crazy when you look at some of the numbers that the Eagles are still 8-1, despite having a poor secondary on that back end. 10 weeks into the season, the Eagles have allowed the 5th most passing yards per game, the 3rd most passing touchdowns, and the most passing first downs, and they have the 2nd fewest interceptions. So they're giving up a lot, and they're not taking the ball away through the air. Already, Kirk Cousins, Sam Howell, Dak Prescott have thrown for at least 3 touchdowns and 350 yards this year while completing at least 65% of their passes. So the looks for these quarterbacks have also been easy. You look elsewhere, Eagles only the 8th team in NFL history to allow 2,300 passing yards and 19 touchdown passes and have just 4 interceptions after 9 games. And they're the first team to win more than 5 games during that stretch. So with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Geno Smith all coming up, Eagles have to find a way to shore up that secondary. Now, if you hate the Chiefs, I do. I want you to type FKC in the chat, and Jace Andrews is now our Chiefs Report host. You can type F Jace as well. Also, because anytime I hear Ace in the office now, I'm thinking somebody's saying Chase when they're saying Jason. It just drives me crazy. Watermelon, does Sean Desai deserve blame for the Eagles secondary? I don't think so. I think James Bradberry has gotten old overnight, and he's been bad in coverage. Darius Slay hasn't been the same player, but he's been okay. Last year, they were the highest graded cornerback duo in the NFL. So you have a little bit of slip there. You lost Devontae Maddox in the slot. That's been an issue. You've missed Bradley Roby. When he did play those 2 games against the Jets and the Rams, he did fare well, and that's a veteran who kind of knows where to be, right place, right time, because he's been a part of so many defensive systems. Also, the Eagles have rarely had the same secondary combination in back-to-back games. It just hasn't happened because of all of the injury attrition on that back end. So the lack of continuity has been a problem. I will say this about Sean Desai. Some of the adjustments that he's made in-game, though, that's what elite high-level coaches do. And I'm a believer that Sean Desai is a very good defensive coordinator, and I think he's much better than the stiff Jonathan Gannon. Jared Allman, how can the Eagles contain Travis Kelce? This is a great question because out of the slot, they have gotten cooked over and over again. Most recently, before the bye, CeeDee Lamb ran all of his routes pretty much out of the slot. Eagles had no answers. Whether it was Darius Slay, James Bradberry, Sidney Brown, Reed Blankenship, Eli Ricks, Slay had the most success against CD. Really, everybody else was just torched. So I'm not sure what the Eagles are going to do in covering Travis Kelce. What I would do, a lot of double teams. Take him out of the game and force some of the other wide receivers on that roster who are all really secondary guys who are playing out of position as far as being legit wideouts, make them beat you. AS, FKC, any update on Bradley Roby? If so, what are the Eagles going to do at slot corner? So Bradley Roby did say that he was going to play. He's going to be in that secondary for Philadelphia thanks to the bye week and already missing a couple of weeks prior to the bye. He's had plenty of time to rest up. So Bradley Roby will be back. And now, coming out of the bye, can you also throw this subject matter out there? Like Kevin Byard had a little bit of time to get a better grasp on this defense. So finally, we're going to see this secondary at full strength, and we're going to see how they can fare. Darius Slay, James Bradberry on the outside, Bradley Roby in the slot, and then you have Reed Blankenship and Kevin Byard as your safety combination. Predict the score. Eagles, Chiefs, Monday Night Football, and join us for our watch party. I think the Eagles win this game in a close one and a high-scoring affair. Flipping the bird, 85. He's getting his prediction in. Thank you for your service, by the way. I know Veterans Day was a few days ago. Eagles 27, Chiefs 19. Let's go. Look, I know that Kansas City's offense has been down this year. They haven't scored as much as they have under Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But if you hold this Chiefs team to 19 points coming out of the bye, given the secondary issues, we're going to be celebrating all around Philadelphia and for Eagles fans worldwide. Dragons, Stambolic. Think the Eagles will win 40-37. You know who would be happy about that? Us, because the ratings for our watch party would be crazy. ESPN as well, if the scoreboard is getting lit up like that, a frenetic pace in which both of these teams are going back and forth. And if the Eagles win 40-37, we're We're going to have quite the post-game show right here on Eagles Now. Stephen Kettle, first-time super chatter during our live show. What's good, Brody? Do you think that we have been saving Rashaad Penny for later? I'm not sure. Like, the conspiracy theory part of me says Rashaad Penny's been injured a lot. When he's been on the field, he's been really good, but the last few years has not been able to stay healthy. Did Philadelphia look at that, understand that, and think, okay, let's just save him for the back half of the year to kind of unleash him a little bit? He got that one carry against Dallas. It was a very successful carry. But then after that, he didn't see the field. Andrew Nathan, I want us to run the ball down Kansas City's throat, some sprint draws, backside counters, and swing toss. I think we need to give Swift and Gainwell at least 32 touches on game day. How about Andrew Nathan bringing the football knowledge right there? I mean, my goodness, he sounds like a coach. He sounds like an analyst. Sprint draws, backside counters, swing toss. Give Swift and Gainwell at least 32 touches on game day. Let's look at that Chiefs rushing defense as part of this, Chip, if we could pop up that graphic, because it's one of the biggest keys to victory for Philadelphia in this game. Can they expose Kansas City with their ground game? The Chiefs, 15th in yards per rush allowed, 22nd in rushes per game, 15th in rushing yards per game at 103.8. And in turn, if the Eagles can find success in running the football, what does it do? Take the Chiefs' offense out of their momentum, and it keeps Patrick Mahomes on that sideline. Ball control, sometimes underrated when you're going up against a quarterback like that. Carol Hosey, we got the receipts to cash in. What kind of impact will Jaylen Carter have on the pass rush? Eagles 28, Chiefs 17. Jaylen Carter has been one of the best defensive tackles in the game this year. And I'm not just talking about rookies. He's drawing triple teams. He's drawing double teams as a rookie. Think about that. That's not happening by accident. That is happening in the week of preparation going into these games. Offensive coordinators, coaches, players are saying, they're circling 98, and they're saying, we have to block him, because if we don't, he could take over the game like Aaron Donald in his prime. So one-on-one matchup, Chiefs' interior offensive line is fantastic. Jalen Carter against Creed Humphrey, it's as good as it gets if you love talking trench ball. AS, fire Brian Johnson, took the foot off the gas pedal, and he takes for tight end. I want to see Julio Jones at that tight end spot. I'm not on the fire Brian Johnson train. Brian Johnson has eased the heat beneath his seat. The Eagles are a top 5 offense in the NFL. They're top 5 in scoring. They've been really good. And now they're what? Number 11 in red zone efficiency? You had to give him some wiggle room at the start of this year to get acclimated with calling plays at the NFL level, and there was going to be an inevitable drop-off early on going from Shane Steichen, great coach, to Brian Johnson. So I'm not on the fire Brian Johnson bandwagon there. As for tight end, I want to see the Eagles unlock Albert Okwuegbunam. This guy is a freakish athlete who can't block, but he's a hell of a pass catcher, and he can pose a mismatch against that Chiefs team. Julio Jones at tight end? No, because he'd have to be a blocking tight end as well, and that's obviously not what he's done for his entire career. But Julio Jones out of the slot? Let's ride. Who you got? Monday Night Football, PHI for the Birds, KC for the Kansas City Chiefs, EAGLES, Eagles. Let's go.